Hi, welcome to Geography class. My name is Sonia Ekeleme. Our theme for today is Environment and its Resources, and our topic, Environmental Resources. Before we go further, let's take a look at the lesson objectives. By the end of this class, you should be able to define environmental resources, discuss the different types of environmental resources, give examples of each type, relate human resources quality to size, education, health, etc. And lastly, explain the importance of each type of environmental resources. The environment we live in consists of various types of resources which are available to man. These resources exist in various forms and quantities that can be harnessed by man for man's benefit. Some of the resources that are found in our environment last only for short periods of time, while some others last longer. These resources are all valuable to man, plants, and animals. Now, what are environmental resources? These are materials, both living and non-living things, found in our environment that are of great value to man. Environmental resources cover various domains in our environment. The domains of the environment include the atmosphere, the lithosphere, the biosphere, and the hydrosphere. Each of these domains have their special environmental resources. Now let's take a look at the types of environmental resources. Environmental resources are grouped based on the domain of the environment in which they exist. And like I said earlier, the domains of the environment are the atmosphere, the biosphere, the lithosphere, and the hydrosphere. Based on this, there are 6 types of environmental resources, and they include atmospheric resources, water resources, vegetation resources, mineral resources, land resources, and human resources. Now let's take a look at them one after the other. Atmospheric resources. These are resources found in the atmosphere, and they are useful to plants, animals, and man. The atmosphere is that part of the environment that contains gases and is responsible for the sustenance of life. Examples of atmospheric resources are gases, sunlight, wind, rainfall, etc. This is a table showing the various percentages of the different gases found in the atmosphere. From the table, we can see that nitrogen constitutes 78% of the atmosphere, oxygen 21%, argon 0.9%, carbon dioxide 0.04%, and trace gases 0.06%. All these gases make up the atmosphere. The various gases found in the atmosphere are important to plants, animals, and man in the following ways. Oxygen. Oxygen is used by plants, animals, and man for respiration. It also supports the burning of materials in the process of combustion. Carbon dioxide. Plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is also used in the production of fire extinguishers. This is because carbon dioxide quenches fire faster. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is used in making fertilizers, dyes, and explosives. It is also used in the electronic industry to produce transistors and diodes. Ozone. Ozone serves as a blanket to the earth by protecting it from the rays of the sun in the form of ultraviolet light. Ozone can also be used in producing deodorants and disinfectants. Water vapor. Water vapor is important for the formation of rain. Water vapor also helps to moderate atmospheric temperature, which in turn helps in cooling the earth. Rain. Rain is a source of water that serves different purposes. It is also necessary for the growth of plants. Sunlight. Green plants use sunlight in producing food during the process of photosynthesis. The energy from the sun can also be converted into solar energy, which can be used to generate electricity. And lastly, wind. Wind aids in the operation of windmills that can be used to generate electricity. Wind is also an agent of pollination. Now let's take a look at water resources. Water resources are the living and non-living things that can be found in water, which are valuable to plants, animals, and man. Sources of water are rivers, streams, oceans, springs, groundwater, etc. Some examples of resources that can be found in water include pearls, salt, crude oil, fishes, etc. This is an image showing fishes in water. This image shows a drill rig that is used in drilling crude oil from water. And this image shows the collection of salt from water bodies. Vegetation resources. These are resources that can be gotten from the forests, and they are valuable to living things. They include timber, trees, fruits, wild animals, and raw materials that can be used in producing other things. Mineral resources. Mineral resources are resources found in the Earth's crust or the lithosphere that have economic value in different quantities and qualities. Mineral resources exist in different forms and grades, and they include gold, limestone, iron ore, tin, coal, etc. Land resources. Land resources are those materials that can be gotten from the Earth's lithosphere. They are beneficial to living things. Some examples of land resources are minerals, metals, trees, rocks, crude oil, animals, etc. Human resources. Humans are said to be the managers of environmental resources. Human resources refers to man and his ability to take care of the environmental resources, and also his inputs that are beneficial to other humans. It is the responsibility of humans to take care of the environment and conserve its resources in order to avoid its depletion and destruction. There are some factors that affect the quality of human resources in a country. Let's take a look at them one after the other. One of the factors that affects the quality of human resources in a country is size. The size of a country or the population of the country can affect how resources are used. Countries with large population, like Nigeria, that has a population of over 190 million, can have a large effect on the availability and management of its environmental resources. Also, the size of a country can determine the size of its labor force. The government of a country can also generate revenue from taxes billed on the citizens of that country. Education is another factor that affects the quality of human resources in a country. The education of a country's workforce or labor force is an investment into the country's human capital. A country with a high level of educated people will have an increase or growth in its gross domestic product, while a country with high level of illiteracy will face low economic growth. It is necessary for countries to create quality and affordable education for its citizens to help in its growth. Skilled and unskilled labor. Skilled labor are jobs that require a special kind of training or experience, while unskilled labor do not require trainings or experiences. Some examples of skilled labor include engineering, medicine, law, etc. While some examples of unskilled labor include farming, fishing, and so on. With the advent of technology, unskilled labor jobs that were once done manually are now done with the assistance of technology like computers. Health. It is said that a healthy nation is a prosperous nation. Health is very important for the quality of human resources in a nation, An unhealthy nation is a liability as it is not productive, while a healthy nation has so many benefits. It is necessary for the government of a country to ensure that health facilities are made available and affordable to help in boosting the health status of that nation. Some parameters used in assessing the future progress of a nation and its growth are the increase in life expectancy, high fertility, and low mortality rates of infants. Having seen the various types of environmental resources and their examples, now let's take a look at the importance of these environmental resources. Gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide are necessary for the sustenance of life on Earth. Water, which is an environmental resource, serves as a source of food for living things. The speed of running water can also be used to produce hydroelectric power that can be used in producing and generating electricity. Timber, herbs, and rubber, which are all examples of vegetation resources, can be used as raw materials for the production of other goods. Certain minerals such as gold, iron ore, and tin, when extracted, can be sold to generate revenue for governments. Land resources provide food and space for humans and animals to inhabit. And lastly, humans, who are the managers of human resources, help to conserve these resources. We've come to the end of this lesson. How about we go through some key points we got during the lesson? We learned that environmental resources are living and non-living materials found in our environment which are of great value to man. We also learned that types of environmental resources include atmospheric resources, mineral resources, vegetation resources, water, land, and human resources. Going forward, we saw that humans are the managers of all types of environmental resources. And lastly, we learned that environmental resources such as gas, water, land, etc. are all important to man in many areas. Now, let's test our understanding of the lesson with some few questions. Question 1. Which of the following is the odd one out? The options are A. Rainfall, B. Nitrogen, C. Wind, or D. Trees. The correct answer is D. Trees. Question 2. Environmental resources are managed and cared for by dash. A. Marine organisms, B. Humans, C. Wildlife, or D. Environmentalists. The correct answer is B. Humans. I hope you can now define environmental resources and discuss different types of environmental resources. See you in our next class. Bye.